Yes, they're lifelines of modern infrastructure, but some come with extraordinary price tags due to their scale or location. From highways spanning mountain ranges to underwater tunnels connecting nations, these are the 15 most expensive roads ever built. Starting with number 15, the Interstate H3 in Hawaii, in the USA. Interstate H3, known locally as the John A. Burns Freeway, has become one of the most expensive and controversial highways in Hawaii and the US. The 15-mile or 24-kilometer-long interstate connects the towns of Halawa on Oahu's west side, with Kaneohe on the east side, crossing the Kūlau mountain range on the way. Officially classified as an auxiliary interstate, H3 is part of the Dwight D. Eisenhower National System of Interstate and Defense Highways, and it was named in honor of John A. Burns. Construction on it began in the mid-1960s, but it took more than 3 decades and $1.3 billion to complete. The highway was completed in 1997, and it is one of the most passed through the culturally sacred Halawa Valley. Native Hawaiian groups, environmentalists, and preservationists protested against this route, arguing it would disrupt the sacred burial sites, destroy valuable native forests, and threaten the island's delicate ecosystems. These concerns led to a number of legal challenges which delayed construction and increased its cost. To overcome some of those impacts, the designers used various innovative engineering solutions, such as building elevated viaducts over sensitive areas and tunneling through mountains to reduce the highway's footprint. Despite those efforts, though, controversy over H3 has continued, with critics arguing that the construction violated Hawaiian cultural practices. Now completed, though, Interstate H3 has become known as one of the most picturesque highways of all, offering a scenic drive with views of valleys, waterfalls, and the ocean. Number 14, Ionia-Odos Motorway in Greece, $1.6 billion. The Ionia-Odos Motorway, which is also known as the A5, is a major highway in Greece that runs through the westward region of Greece known for its beauty, with views of mountains, valleys, and the Ionian Sea. Its route intersects with some of Greece's most important natural and cultural landmarks, passing close to the historic site of Dodona, which is one of the country's oldest shrines, and traveling along the fringes of the Achelous River, which is Greece's second longest river. Its construction was, though, a complex and expensive one, with total costs reaching around $1.6 billion. Much of the difficulty came from the challenging terrain. Over 30 bridges and 24 tunnels were built to ensure the route was safe and navigable. The entire motorway was designed to withstand any seismic events, which was vital in this earthquake-prone area of Greece. But of course, it added a huge cost to the project. Before the A5 was completed, the regions of western Greece were mainly served by narrow, winding roads that could be pretty dangerous, especially during the winter. These roads limited access and were a barrier to development. Now the Ionia-Odos has transformed travel in the region, cutting travel times and opening up to Aloha. Completed in 2013, the highway reduced travel time between the two cities from over 6 hours to around 3 hours, which had a major impact on logistics, tourism, and the economic fortunes of the region. This came at a price, though, and required a large number of special elements to all make it possible. Work on the road took more than 10 years and eventually cost more than $2 billion. The highway features over 60 tunnels and 115 bridges, including the Baluarte Bridge, which has become a symbol of the route's complexity. At 3,600 feet or 1,100 meters long and standing over 1,300 feet above the water, this bridge became the highest cable-stayed bridge in the world when it was finished, and it's still one of the highest bridges in North America. It, too, was a controversial road and came with a number of challenges. The Sierra Madre Occidental's unpredictable geology, regular landslides, and seismic activity meant that builders had to endure difficult conditions. There were environmental concerns, too, as the highway cut through several sensitive ecosystems that are home to a wide range. Still attracts more adventurous drivers. The new highway has provided a much safer, faster, and more modern route. Number 12, the Tehran-Shomal Freeway in Iran, $2.2 billion. The Tehran to Shomal Freeway, which is officially known as the Tehran North Freeway, is one of the most important road projects in the country that connects the capital city of Tehran with the northern province of Mazandaran along the Caspian Sea. Covering a distance of about 75 miles or 121 kilometers, it's been in planning and development stages since the 1970s, and the project remains just partly completed, with a number of sections operational and others still under construction. When fully complete, though, it will reduce travel times between Tehran and the northern regions from several hours to just over an hour, creating a faster route through some of Iran's most challenging landscape. In all, the Tehran to Shomal freeway includes over 150 bridges and at least 25 tunnels, the most impressive of which is the 3-mile or 4.9-kilometer-long, albeit often dangerous road, so the freeway's smoother, wider lanes and shorter travel time provide a much safer alternative. As is always the case with large infrastructure projects, there have been concerns about the way the freeway cuts through sensitive ecosystems, including protected forested areas, both because of the direct impact on wildlife habitats and the potential for increased pollution and deforestation. The project's also encountered a number of delays, with final completion dates continually being pushed back. Number 11. The Ruta del Sol Highway in Colombia, $2.7 billion. The Ruta del Sol, or the Route of the Sun Highway, is a major transportation project in Colombia between the capital city of Bogotá to the Caribbean coast, with the aim of improving connectivity and reducing travel times. The highway covers a distance of around 665 miles, or just over 1,000 kilometers, and passes through some of the country's most important economic and cultural centers. The development of Ruta del Sol came from the need for an efficient. These included mountainous terrain, river crossings, and zones prone to landslides. The route was meant to improve safety by providing wider, straighter lanes with modern engineering techniques, which would help reduce accidents. The new highway also shortens the journey between Bogotá and the coast from over 20 hours to around 10 hours, which is pretty good. It also is designed to boost tourism by making it easier for travelers to access Colombia's northern beaches and historic sites. Number 10. Marina Coastal Expressway in Singapore, $3.15 billion. The MCE, or the Marina Coastal Expressway, was a massive addition to Singapore's advanced infrastructure, becoming an essential link between the country's east and west regions. Officially opened on December 29, 2013, the MCE is 3.1 miles or 5 kilometers long and is Singapore's first major underground expressway. Designed to accommodate the increasing volume of traffic without taking up much valuable urban space, it connects costs reaching around $3.1 billion, making it one of their most expensive infrastructure projects. This expressway has a total of 5 lanes in each direction, which can handle huge traffic volumes that use it, and the route also required a major reclamation work along Marina Bay. This included the construction of a large ventilation building to manage their air quality in the tunnels. It integrates with Singapore's extensive road network, reducing congestion on the CBD and diverting heavy traffic away from city streets. The MCE's design didn't just focus on practicality either, as its entrance and exit points were landscaped to blend in with the city's greenery, meaning it's not just another concrete structure on the island. Since opening, it has been seen as successful, although there were a few issues at first because of problems with traffic flow and bottlenecks. Those have now been resolved, though, as drivers have adapted to the new route and road planning agencies installed additional signage. Today, the Marina Coastal Expressway is a crucial connecting route for the entire country and shows how infrastructure can be built to support environmental of the most remote landscape on Earth, including the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau, which has an average elevation of over 13,000 feet or 4,000 meters, and it's known as the roof of the world. Building it was a huge engineering challenge because of the extreme conditions here on the Tibetan Plateau. At these high altitudes, oxygen levels are much lower than at sea level, which can lead to altitude sickness and health risks for construction workers. As well as the thin air, the region experiences intense ultraviolet radiation, cold temperatures, and unpredictable weather, including high winds and heavy snowfall. Amazingly, Chinese engineers and workers managed to complete the road in just 2 years, and since then the highway's been continuously upgraded. It is a great road to drive along, if not a challenging one, with huge changes in altitude, rapidly shifting weather and harsh landscapes, with incredible views of snowy mountains, large grasslands, and lakes like the famous Qinghai Lake. The route passes through features like the Tanggula Mountain Pass, which at 17,000 boom here have put pressure on the ecosystem on the Tibetan Plateau, with concerns over pollution, deforestation, and the displacement of traditional Tibetan people. Number 8. The Montfayette Expressway in the United States, $5.4 billion. The Montfayette Expressway, which is known as Pennsylvania Route 43, is a route through southwestern Pennsylvania that was designed to improve transportation, economic development, and accessibility in a historically industrial region. At a length of around 66 miles or 106 kilometers, it's a key corridor that connects the suburbs of Pittsburgh with rural communities along the Monongahela River and eventually links up with major highways in West Virginia. Originally suggested in the 1970s, it's part of a larger idea to revitalize the Monongahela Valley, which is a region that's faced economic difficulties. With a budget of $5.4 billion, the highway isn't yet completed, but it has developed several segments, so large sections are already usable. This expressway is particularly useful for heavy freight traffic, as economic benefits can justify the expense, particularly given the continuing fall in the number of people living in the Mon Valley. There's no doubt, though, that sections of the Montfayette Expressway that have opened have had a transformative effect on the region's transportation network. For residents and businesses, it's connected communities that were once isolated and underserved, and with new industries, particularly in manufacturing and logistics, this highway has helped with the local economic development, although the long-term benefits are yet to be fully realized. Moving on to number 7, Otoyol 5 in Turkey, $7 billion. Otoyol 5 is one of Turkey's biggest infrastructure projects ever, connecting Istanbul, Turkey's largest city, with Izmir, which is a port scene on the Aegean coast. Officially completed in 2019, this 265-mile or 420-kilometer highway significantly reduces your travel time. And one of the most important parts of it is the Osman Gazi Bridge, which crosses the Gulf of Imsir of goods between the industrial heartland around Istanbul and Turkey's agricultural and manufacturing centers. The project has been tricky, though. With an estimated cost of over $7 billion, it was partly funded through a public-private partnership, whereby the Turkish government worked with a consortium of private companies. This funding model meant that the road was being built relatively quickly, but has since been criticized because of the high toll fees that make the route less accessible to average citizens. There's no doubt, though, that it's already been a massive boost to the country's economy, and with further development and treaties with neighboring countries in the pipeline, it could become one of the most important trade routes in the world. Number 6, the Chuo Expressway in Japan, $8 billion. The Chuo Expressway is one of Japan's main arterial highways, connecting Tokyo with Nagoya, Japan's third largest city, and passing through the Chubu region. Covering a distance of around 227 miles or 360 kilometers. It's a vital link across central Japan, offering a more direct route, but as well as adding to the cost, these required new construction techniques. The expressway provides access to the Yamanashi Prefecture, which is known for its wineries and the hot springs of Yamanashi's onsen towns. The route's closeness to the Japanese Alps also allows you to reach popular destinations like Nagano and Matsumoto, and during seasonal peaks, especially in autumn, the expressway sees an increase in traffic. The expressway plays a vital role in supporting the economy in the Chubu region, allowing for the transportation of goods between central Japan's agricultural and manufacturing zones. And it connects with other highways including the Keno Expressway and the Nagano Expressway, giving quicker access to the rest of the country. Like much of Japan's infrastructure, though, the Chuo Expressway is often congested and experiences issues because of the mountainous routes. Snow and landslides are common, especially in the winter months, and require regular maintenance and monitoring to ensure the road is safe. Number 5. Ignatia Odos in Greece, The construction was a huge challenge that took 2 decades to complete at a cost of more than $8.4 billion. Completed in the early 2000s, this project transformed northern Greece's infrastructure and massively improved the region's connections. The highway crosses some of Greece's most beautiful landscapes, including the Pindus Mountains, so needed more than 70 tunnels and 1,600 bridges. Highlights include the 3-mile-long Metsovo Tunnel, which allows you to pass through the middle of the Pindus Mountains, and the Komsatos Bridge, which is one of the longest and highest bridges on the route. It links directly to highways that go into Albania, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Turkey, providing a gateway for goods traveling between Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. As a result, the highway has become an essential corridor for freight transport, reducing travel times across northern Greece and enabling faster trade. As well as the clear direct economic benefits, the route has boosted tourism too. It provided direct access to Greece's northern and western region. This route, which was completed in 1997, is a hybrid of a bridge and a tunnel that stretches over 9 miles or about 15.1 kilometers across the bay, reducing the travel distance around the region by more than half, cutting travel time from 90 minutes to around 15. The Tokyo Bay Aqua Line begins as a bridge from Kizurazu and then transitions into an undersea tunnel midway to Kawasaki, making it one of the world's longest underwater tunnels at 6 miles. By combining both bridge and tunnel elements, engineers were able to maintain waterway access while still provide a direct connection across the bay. The tunnel section had to be designed to be earthquake resistant, of course, as Tokyo Bay is a seismically active region, with a design that prioritizes safety and strength. At the point where the bridge meets the tunnel, the Aqua Line has an artificial island known as Umihotaru, which translates to mean sea firefly. Umihotaru is a rest area and a tourist attraction in itself, with stunning views of the Tokyo Bay, the Tokyo skyline, and on clear days, well with potential users at first. Although toll reductions in recent years have made it more accessible to daily commuters and have led to significantly increased traffic. Number 3. Karachi-Lahore Highway in Pakistan, $11.5 billion. The Karachi to Lahore Highway, which is also referred to as the M9 and M5, is one of the longest and most important roads in Pakistan. With a length of over 746 miles or 1,200 kilometers, it's a major part of their national trade corridor in Pakistan, and it's vital to economic growth. It's split into two main sections, with the M9 motorway connecting Karachi and Hyderabad and the M5 motorway connecting the Multan to Sukur, eventually linking with the rest of the network to Lahore. The M9 motorway, which was originally built as a dual-lane highway, has recently been upgraded to a 6-lane motorway. The M5 motorway section is a much newer addition that was completed in 2019. Where the journey from Karachi to Lahore once nearly took, highways in Pakistan were known for high accident rates because of their narrow lanes, poor visibility, and heavy congestion. And the new motorway infrastructure has completely changed that, making travel by road much faster, more reliable, and safer. Noise pollution, though, has become a problem with this highway, especially as now it's become such a popular route. So the landscape around the road noticeably changed since it opened. This, though, is generally seen as necessary for the economic benefits, and because of the success of this upgrade, there are now several other routes in the planning stage that will aim to do something similar for other regions in the country. Number 2. The new coastal road, Reunion Island, $2.5 billion. The new coastal road on Reunion Island is one of the most difficult and costly infrastructure projects in the Indian Ocean. The island itself is around 420 miles to the east of Madagascar, and it's an overseas department of France. This new development on the island is designed to replace the old coastal route that ran between the capitals, said that a safer, more modern route was needed. A large part of the new road was built as an elevated viaduct over the sea, about 3.4 miles or 5.5 kilometers in length, and supported by massive concrete pillars. This design was chosen to reduce interference with the island's volcanic cliffs to avoid building on the landscape. It was really difficult to build, as engineers had to deal with strong currents, high waves, and deep seabeds to ensure the pillars would be stable. Despite preserving ecosystems on land, there has been concerns about how this project will impact marine biodiversity. To address this, environmental studies were conducted and efforts were made to reduce the impact on those systems. With so much of the materials for the road needing to be shipped in, this has been a long project that began in late 2013 and still isn't fully finished. The road will handle thousands of vehicles each day, including heavy freight transport, which is essential for supplying the island. And this improved route will also encourage some tourism, which is a large part of Reunion's economy, by offering a safer and more reliable access to the island's northern 3.5-mile or 5.6-kilometer tunnel beneath downtown Boston. The project also included constructing the Leonard P. Zakim Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge, the Ted Williams Tunnel under Boston Harbor, and extensive park systems above these new roadways. Initially estimated at $2.8 billion, the final cost of the Big Dig multiplied to more than $24 billion, making it the world's most expensive highway project. By the mid-20th century, Boston was facing major issues with its street layout and crowded urban environment, which caused serious traffic problems. The original elevated central artery, which was built in the 50s, cut down through Boston and soon became obsolete as traffic volumes increased. By the 1980s, the 6-lane road was clogged up with over 200,000 vehicles each day. The Big Dig was suggested as a solution to those issues, with the aim of modernizing their transportation infrastructure, reducing congestion, and reclaiming valuable downtown space. By far, the most challenging part of this project was the tunnel back the groundwater. Of course, people don't see the tunnel unless they're driving through it, and the part of the project that's the most impressive to look at is the Zakim Bridge, which is the cable-stayed bridge that crosses the Charles River and connects downtown Boston with northern suburbs. This project has faced considerable cost overruns, legal disputes, and technical failures, which led to delays, growing public frustration, and increased overall costs. A lot of this has been put down to poor planning and management, along with lack of oversight. Severe structural and safety issues only emerged after construction, such as in 2006 when a ceiling panel in one of the tunnels collapsed. It is now, though, fully complete, and even with the problems, it's gone on to be a great success. It achieved its goals of reducing traffic congestion and creating new public spaces in Boston, and removed the elevated highway that had divided the city. It has, however, become a lesson in the importance of urban planning. It showed how complex and expensive large-scale urban engineering projects are, especially when they aren't run particularly